Good morning, Bitcoin. I'm Thomas Hunt from the World Crypto Network, joined by
Rachel Macintosh from Finance Magnates.
How are you doing, Rachel?
I'm fine. I'm really happy to be in Barcelona. I live in Finland. When I left, it was like 50 degrees Fahrenheit, like 10 degrees Celsius and rainy.
Yeah.
Now this is like happening. How are you doing?
It's great to be by the beach.
Okay.
It's really hard to be at the conference when you could walk to the beach. I had the same problem. I was in Miami a while ago at the conference there, and the minute the conference was over, I was like, goodbye, everyone. I'm going to the beach.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're staying here. The clock has chimed.
You don't want to be
beach.
in a fluorescent lit, air-conditioned expo center all day?
All day long?
Yeah.
And get more business cards?
Yeah.
I got it. I have a pocket full of business cards. Yeah. I need all of them. So, but no, it's great to be back here at the Barcelona Trading Conference.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so Thomas, I don't actually know who you are, so tell me what you do a little bit.
All right. I make videos for the World Crypto Network.
Okay.
In around April of 2013. I got the Bitcoin bug, I saw the Cyprus event, and I saw something that I'd put in the back of my mind suddenly go to the front of my mind as it went to $300. And I was like, okay, I could have gotten it at 30, I could have gotten $1. I'm the dumbest person ever. I didn't have a lot of money, but all my savings was into it. And once all your savings is into it, what do?
Yeah.
But get a Mad Hatter hat, some crazy goggles, a psychedelic green screen background, and start making daily videos telling everyone how good Bitcoin is.
There is no other logical next step.
There's no other logical step.
Yeah.
So I did 5 episodes a week for 2 years.
Okay.
I did 600 episodes of Mad Bitcoins, and you can find that on just Google or YouTube. And along the way, I started the World Crypto Network, where we've done more than 3,000 episodes, all about Bitcoin technical issues. We covered the scaling issue with the Civil War and Bitcoin, the user-activated soft fork, all these kind of things, SegWit coming live on the network. And we're just about talking about Bitcoin and this exciting new technology.
Okay, so the space I cover, I'm like coming kind of from the opposite end of things.
Yeah.
Like Finance Magnates is like a B2B kind of thing based in Tel Aviv. We cover, lots of corporate things, like industry things that happen within the industry. So like when people get hired, when somebody gets hired at Coinbase and somebody gets fired from Coinbase, that's what we're writing about.
Sure.
So I'm coming from the opposite end. So I really am curious to know, within the last 6 months or so, what's like the most interesting thing, not even from like a price standpoint or just from a human interest standpoint. What's the most interesting thing that you've covered?
The most interesting thing in Bitcoin is still the Lightning Network.
Okay.
People weren't sure if it was going to work. There was this whole Civil War kind of FUD distraction where people were like, let's try a different way. But the real technology, people have been working on it. The interface isn't there, but the underlying layer is good.
Okay.
And once, like with TCP/IP, the technology that runs the internet, good enough, workable is good enough. And Bitcoin and Lightning Network now continue to be good enough. So second layer solutions like the liquid sidechains from Blockstream, all these things that are starting to attach to Bitcoin, they're going to have a much longer life than, say, Ethereum that gets felled by CryptoKitties, or your ICO that goes out of business because they bought Lamborghinis instead of programmers.
Right. Okay. So what needs to, because I think the Lightning Network is super intriguing. I'm really interested about it. But what really needs to happen before it can actually be implemented?
Well, I mean, it's implemented right now, but they're calling it reckless.
Okay.
So they say put $100 on, don't put 1,000 or 1,000,000.
Right. Okay.
There just could be a bug, there could be a mistake. Its payment channels are very complicated.
Okay.
One of the new things they invented recently is a way to refill the channel. So if you had a $20 channel and you spent 20, you could put another 20 in, spend it again, and then you don't have to create a new channel. Because right now, every time you go from Bitcoin to Lightning, you pay a transaction fee.
Yeah.
So you're like taking your money from like your savings, you're putting a little bit in your spending account. Then you go and spend it, you give it to Starbucks, all these things. They're collecting IOUs basically for your Bitcoin, which is still kind of there. And then at some point they cash in all their IOU slivers, and then you either cash yours out or you refill the channel, or you pay. So you pay to get on, you pay to get off.
All right.
That's the only real issue, where if Bitcoin fees go up too high, you have to pay more. So that's what the other side would be saying, is that that's inevitably going to happen. But then I think by that time, there'll be a third layer on top of Lightning, and a fourth layer, and a fifth layer, and onward, because it's just software. And for you and me, it's like, 8 layers deep. We don't want to have 8 layers of interlocking math. But we really do. It's safer. It's safer than anything we have now. It's just like the computer driving cars. Yes, if you get in one and they want to take care of you, the car could drive really badly. But in general, the car is going to drive so much better than any human. that it's like you will never go in a normal car again. And people will tell stories of normal drivers who look this way and look that way and right into your car.
Yeah.
The computer will never do that unless intentionally told to. So
that's true. Okay.
Yeah. So I think we're safer with the math.
Yeah.
And it's another thing. I can't confirm it myself, but I can get someone down the line and they can explain it and they can explain it. And one of the things that Richard Feynman always said is that explaining things is the true magic. That it's difficult to understand something, but to compress it down into simple thoughts, that's the real genius. And that's like much harder than people think. People think it's easy just to say, oh, this is a metaphor that explains this, but really you had to think about it quite a lot to get there.
No, it's that, I love that. It's so beautiful. Like I feel like that's what you and me as reporters are trying to do, is like take these complicated things, some of these things that I don't even really understand. I don't feel that I understand all that well, and compress it into something that somebody who doesn't know even what Bitcoin is could understand.
And a lot of times I find myself asking a question where people might think I'm stupid because I'm asking that question, but I just want everyone to know, let's go back to the basics. Like I asked a guy today, I was like, well, what are futures? I want you to explain it to me. I want to see how well you understand it and how simple you can explain it to me, because I'm acting like an idiot here. And a lot of the audience, they're like, oh, I didn't know that, or that refresher was helpful. And that's part of what this is as education, as journalism, informing people. It's a little of both. So.
Definitely, especially with things like futures. I mean, there's so much in the financial industry that is, so out of touch. I don't have a background in finance at all. I actually have a background in music. Like, So
you're ready, the mass forte, and the tune changes. Yeah,
that's right.
Watch for it. Yeah.
Exactly. So I came into the space totally knowing nothing. Everything that I learned about cryptocurrency, I learned just from hours of doing things like watching videos. That's what I can almost guarantee that I've seen.
I'm sure that you've come across them. For sure.
I mean, that's kind of the beautiful thing about this industry, is that everything is so new. People who are experts, Bitcoin didn't even exist 11 years ago.
No, not at all. So, does anyone have 12 years experience in this industry? No.
No.
There's no 12. Like, I need a 14-year veteran. I won't hire anyone else. And it's like, you're SOL. There's no 14-year-old veterans in this space.
That's a great way to weed people out. It's like, I've been working with Bitcoin for
25 years. I cut my teeth back in the 80s. So, trading Bitcoin in the 80s.
Exactly.
There's a lot of stories. Cigar rooms, that kind of thing.
Cigar rooms.
Yeah. Insider. Insider. You wouldn't know about it. But we were trading Bitcoin back in the 80s.
In the cigar rooms.
Yeah. I was very young, but they let me in. I was a newsboy.
I wasn't even born.
I used to deliver newspapers. But
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what's next for World Crypto Network?
Well, I've been traveling around. I went to 3 Bitcoin conferences in 3 weeks, and now here I'm at my 4th.
Damn.
So I'm doing well in Europe. Getting around, seeing the museum, seeing the sites. I'm still a little behind here in Barcelona, so I got to say, Picasso Museum, Gaudi Museum. I have to start checking these things out.
You gotta go. It's amazing.
I've walked around it, but I haven't been inside yet. Okay. So it's equal to Notre Dame now, which I also walked around and didn't go inside, and now regret that.
You gotta go inside.
Yeah.
It's just. I can't even describe it.
I have to check. I've seen the outside. It's pretty amazing. So just some more touring, some more conferences, and just making some more videos right here.
Yeah, great. So what do you think about this conference? I'm just curious. Yeah.
I think it's great. What I like is I like the free entry. I think that anyone could come. I'm not sure that anyone is coming. There's lots of room if you want to come out there to the next one or this one.
Yeah, this is our first ever.
Yeah, free entry Bitcoin conference. We need to somehow get the word out to the streets and maybe have some more booths for beginners. I think a lot of things here are towards financial traders and high-level people. I talked to one guy. I was like, can I invest $200 in your thing and see how it goes? And he's like, our minimum is 2 Bitcoins, sir. And I was like, oh, well, it's really democratizing. Thanks for using the power of the internet to free people and let everyone make 75% on your magical bot. So, all right, well, good luck with that. But I like the open parts. I think it should be more open. But also, the location near the sea and the ocean. I can't wait to go later. So,
hell yeah.
I'm counting down. I got sunblock in my backpack. So
Good for you.
I'm ready.
I need to get some.
I'm pale.
To
be prepared.
It's
a part of the game when you're this pale.
It's part of the game. Hey, you understand.
I know.
Really nice to meet you, Thomas.
All right. Thank you so much for the interview.
Take care.